Hey everybody, it's Jeff Vetter here, and thank you for coming back to Knowledge Time. So, as usual, I'm going to give another definition of what a contingency is. We're going to keep talking about contingencies. And here's another good one from NAR. It says in real estate, a contingency is a condition or event that must be met before a sale can close, according to NAR. Contingencies are outlined in the purchase contract and protects the interests of both buyers and sellers. So I've said this a few times in all the other videos, and I've come up with a different definition that I find online every time. So that way, if you've seen a bunch of these, you should really understand what a contingency is still about. So today we're going to talk about contingent on an engineer's inspection. Again, these are all actually pretty easy to understand once somebody explains it to you. And like I said in the other videos, we as agents always forget we talk about these every single day. So to us, it's just secondhand. It's just common to us to talk about. So we use all these big terms and everything else. People get confused. So when we say you are contingent on an engineer's inspection or a home inspection, it's literally that simple. What you're saying as the buyer to the person that's selling their house, saying, "Hey, look, I want to buy this house. However, I want to make this offer contingent on a satisfactory engineer's inspection. So I want to hire somebody, and if you're a buyer, you're going to spend anywhere between $300 to $600, depending on who the person is that's doing it and how many different inspections that you want to do." So so an engineer's inspection can turn to a very loaded conversation, right? So your basic one is going to be usually about normally about a 2 hour inspection, and it's just on the home itself, meaning the basement, the foundations. Some people may look at the furnaces for a minute. Some people might look at the electrical panels and things like that. They usually take a crawl around in the attic space, but they're not going to be drilling holes in walls and looking in walls. They're not going to be drilling in holes into foundations. Now, if you want all these other inspections done, you have to pay for them, right? So, because these are extra added things, meaning like chimney inspections for fireplaces, or if you want to have a radon test in the basement, or if you want to have a mold test. Now, most of your home inspectors can do all these tests, but they cost extra money. I know, for example, with mold inspections, just for one cotton swab swipe on the wall, it's $150 per swipe. Okay. So if you have multiple locations, they're going to charge you for every swipe that they do. It could add up very quickly. But what happens at the end, let's say you have you get the offer, they accept your offer, and now you have your home inspector. Well, now you got to call the home inspector. Actually, I do that for you. You tell me what inspector you want. I give you a list of people, or you already have one. I always go with what the buyer wants. I can just only recommend. And and they show up. And usually, what happens is you have to have the money on site. They're not going to give you an invoice to pay them later. They normally want cash or a check on the spot, and they will give you a receipt. Then they spend 2 hours. They pull out this giant bag of tools and they go through the whole house with ladders and everything. And then they go home. And then a couple days later, usually within 24 to 48 hours, they send you a report about this thick. And it scares the heck out of you because you start saying, "Man, this house is a piece of junk." It's like, no, you just paid that guy $300 to $400 to take a picture of every crack, everything. That's what his job was. And normally it's about 45 pages of just little things that they see in every room because they want to make sure that they show you everything. And then at the end, they have a red section. It's normally red. And it's a summary of all the things that you probably should take care of right away. Now, does that mean you have to beg the seller for every repair? Well, it can. That's going to be up to you. However, do us agents recommend it? No, I recommend we all sit down and we look at what's super important in your mind that must be taken care of, and stuff that you could probably handle later. So that way we're not overwhelming the seller with seven, eight, nine, $10,000 worth of repairs, because whether we like it or not, that is kind of part of home ownership. You're going to do some repairs on the house. And let's say you decide, yes, I need some repairs. Well, there's another little piece of paper that we fill out, which is a conditional release of inspection that gets us out, that releases the seller from that condition to move forward on the sale. And we would just say, based on these conditions, I want this and this and this fixed. right, with a said dollar amount, which mind you, that is negotiable. You may go back, you're going to go back and forth between the seller on numbers and what will be and won't be until we come to a finalization. And once everybody is signed, we now have released that contingency. We can now move forward with the sale. You also have the option to say, there's way too many problems with this house. There's no way. And we literally just do a cancellation and release of contract based on the contingency of a home inspection that wasn't satisfactory to you. And last but not least, there's always the one wonderful one, which is you're just releasing the inspection. You don't see anything that's that detrimental or deal killer, as we'd like to call it, in your eyes. And we just do a regular cancellation and release of not cancellation release, I should say, release of contingency on that inspection. So if you ever have any questions, always feel free to give me a call. My information's on the next page. You take care.